Somebody got the wee woos, Miss Cydney?
Yeah.
They got the wee woos.
They got the wee woos.
Another one bites the dust. What's up, everybody? I am your host, War Mother Shed, and this is the War Ready podcast. I have a special guest for you guys today. We've got the lovely Miss Cydney here with us. She is my girlfriend and a phenomenal partner who has helped me out through so much these past couple months. And we wanted to do something a little different today. A lot of the things that I've been telling you about as far as my injury goes has impacted a lot of my life, especially the simple necessities of getting groceries. So we wanted to show you what that was like and also take a moment to get to know her. So stick around. So we out here at Crest. It's real late. Nobody's gonna be here, but so my day-to-day life getting groceries with this now lovely cane has been a joyful experience. It's almost been impossible without going with somebody, but to give you a bird's eye view of what it looks like today, I thought I'd bring y'all along for the ride. So we can grab a couple things before Cydney goes on her luxurious vacation and see what we can get. Oh wow, they actually do have it. So typically, I get to ride around on one of these bad boys right here because your boy ain't got no legs.
Well, thought I'd try out my sea legs.
Well, you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
Yes, I know that.
So yep, this is my speed demon right here. You ready for this? Let's do it. And we're off. Yeah, we're out here in this speed demon. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing up homebound. Which one can I go through? Don't
Start.
Oh boy, this thing is slow as all get out. So we got all of our stuff, got all of our food. Oh, it's about to be a good week, so here we go. We're gonna start loading this bad boy up. Good. Oh boy, gotta get a start crunching. Thank you.
You dropped it.
I guess I did.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So what do we got? Oh, getting too old for this shit, man. You know, my favorite part is I get to beep at her whenever I want. I'm like, wow, you look so good. Ooh. Tell you what, this is not what I had envisioned my 23-year-old self being. It's been a adjustment to say the least, but what are you gonna do? You gotta push on, push forward. So I give it about March. Planning to be a lot more active by March. Spring break, about to get out there. Sun's out, guns out, baby. Oh, I think we're finally loaded up. Cool. Okay, so we are back. Grocery shopping complete. Now you know what it looks like to grocery shop with a cane. So, Miss Cydney, let's talk about you. So, tell us a little about yourself. What do you do?
I'm a counselor.
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
Officially about a year now.
Really? So what made you want to get into counseling?
Whenever I was younger, I went through a lot of trauma, growing up, and I had a counselor who was like an undercover counselor way back when, and they really helped me through a lot of stuff without me even knowing like what their job description was, and so I wanted to be somebody like that for kids, teenagers, things like that.
That's pretty amazing. So, after, going to school for how many years?
6.
6 years. After going to school for 6 years, I'm sure there's probably some student loans in there, and getting your degree. What was the goal after that?
Basically was to work at a facility for a year and some change, and then hopefully start my own private practice.
Private practice. Okay. So what made you want to get into private practice?
I've just worked for a lot of companies, and there's a part of me that wants to take everything that I've learned from all of those different companies and incorporate it into a practice specifically for people, and maybe then also add a couple of my own flares to it. Insurance is kind of a pain in the buns, and so hopefully finding a common balance between that so that more people can get the help that they need that actually want it.
Trust and believe, after all the hoops I've had to jump through insurance-wise and the pain my buns have had from the stomach bug, I know. So, with you wanting to start your own practice, if you say, could change one thing across the board for all therapists or mental health companies, what would it be?
For therapists, I would say, because I'm currently in the candidate process, it would be to make the candidate process a lot less of a pain to go through, because what a lot of people don't know when they go into counseling is that you have to do some unpaid work. After you do unpaid work, you have to get 3,000 hours of candidacy, which basically means that you're under a supervisor for, I think, approximately about 3 years. And during that time, you can only have a select amount of clients, and a lot of them are clients that don't really want to do therapy, don't really like to show up. A lot of them are DHS forced clients. So you are basically living paycheck to paycheck.
Really?
As an adult. Yeah.
With a master's?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you go to school and get a doctorate in medicine, you don't have to go through that same process.
Yeah, correct. Well, from what I know, I don't have my doctorate in medicine, so maybe that's not the case, but whenever they say at least they go to school and get a master's, does not mean you're going to be making the big bucks, especially not in counseling.
Man, that is so crazy to me because, looking at all the therapists that I've seen, doctors I've seen, you always see them as making it, but it is also their professional face, the professional settings.
Yeah.
It's always nice to get a more personal or in-depth feel of like who they are behind their name tag, their lab coats and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of counselors have gone through it, and so I've been fortunate enough to have some supervisors. Oh, that's another thing. So I've been fortunate enough to have some supervisors that understand like the struggle of going through this candidacy process, and they're actually like not charging me to do supervision, which a lot of supervisors could charge you weekly supervision ranging from like $50 to like $175 a week. And you have to have supervision for the candidacy process.
So let me get this straight. You have to work at this job under supervision, take your paycheck, pay your now supervisor to supervise you so you can eventually do their job.
Mm-hmm.
What the Like, that is just, that makes absolutely no sense to me.
I mean, I'm sure that the process of being a counselor is difficult because of the high rate of not so great mental health professionals, and they really just want to weed out all the bad eggs. But I mean, I feel like the 500 hours of unpaid work that you do in graduate school plus going to graduate school and halfway working, I feel like that's about enough like to determine whether or not you actually want to do things and help people.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard because I know it's important to weed out the people that generally aren't in it for the right reasons, but even then there's so many doctors that still do it for the money, that still do it for the status, or just the opportunities it can to connect them with other people. And it's just sad to see, somebody that, you could have had big aspirations for, oh my God, so-and-so came out of this podunk place, she's going to be a therapist, she's going to do all these great things, and then you see the master's degree and think that they finally reached the finish line, and really they're just getting started. If there was something you had to change about the candidacy process, or at least as regarding the supervision process, what would you do?
Well, I would definitely make candidacy and supervision free. However, if I was working for a company, or if I had supervisors working for that company, during their supervision process, they would get a pay raise for their services, because supervisors are basically allowing you to work under their license. So if I screw up, it ruins their license. And so you deserve to get paid for what you do. You deserve to get paid for being a good supervisor. Now, you also get paid for being a good supervisor. And I say that because there are a lot of supervisors that just want to supervise so that they can get money from the candidate, which kind of sucks because the candidate just got out of all kinds of hardships. Like, I worked a full-time job while doing graduate school, and then also doing 500 hours, I believe, of an unpaid internship. And so money was not good. And so coming out of that, to go in and have somebody even tell me that $50 a week I need to pay them for supervision was not that I didn't want to, because they don't deserve it, but just that it was not obtainable to do. It's not something that I can do. I don't have $100, actually $200 every month to give to somebody for supervision. So yeah. If you worked for my company, if you're a supervisor, you get a pay raise, but there also be survey systems to where the candidate and the supervisor get to kind of discuss how things are going and rate and get that maintained. But I mean, it all kind of just boils down to the fact that, you said doctors kind of do things for the money. I think it's, in my opinion, just the fact that people don't take mental health that seriously here. You can go and be a doctor and have zero people skills whatsoever, and work with people all day, every day. I have a best friend is working as a nurse, and she has more people skills than a lot of the doctors that she works around. It's just one of those things where we have to start taking mental health seriously, or nothing's really going to change.
I absolutely agree. I think another question I had for you was, what was the point in your life where you felt like it was almost your rock bottom that propelled you to where you are today? Like, what motivates you to keep pushing even through all of this?
This is going to sound weird, but this weird feeling that everything has always worked out before, and so it's going to continue to work out in the end. My rock bottom was probably during graduate school, while I was doing the unpaid internship, and I was all the way out in Edmond, and I live in Moore, so it was about a 45-minute drive to Deer Creek. Yeah. And I had to go there 2 days out of the week in my rinky-dink car that was broken down multiple times, and I drove back from graduate school, I think, at the time, and my car started setting on fire. I was like, dear God, I don't have any money in savings, I have no money to take care of this car, I don't know what I'm gonna do, my car is on fire. And so I'm pulled over on the side of the road just in tears, bawling. And like somebody's screaming at me on the side of the highway, like, your car's on fire. And I'm like, yeah, no duh.
State the obvious.
And so I have to call the police. And the police like go and make sure my car's not gonna explode, and it gets towed. It ended up having to basically just go and get my car completely like taken in to a shop, and they were like, there's nothing we can do, like we'd have to replace such and such, and it's gonna be like $2,000. And I'm like, I don't have $2,000. And luckily I had family that allowed me to use their extra car so that I could drive to and from work and internship and things like that. Now, here's where it hit rock bottom. It gets worse. So
That's not even the worst part?
no.
Oh,
So I went to my internship, and I had to have a meeting with my supervisor at the time. And she was basically telling me that I wasn't doing enough as far as being present for my clients there, because of the times that my car would have issues and I couldn't show up, which was only, I think, maybe 2 days out of the entire internship. 1, when my car was on fire, and 2, my car literally stopped working and I couldn't drive to the school. Like, I was at the facility, and I couldn't drive to school because my car wouldn't start. And at that moment, I just broke down, like in the office, bawling. Just, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I just, like, what am I supposed to do? Just poof and make my car work? Like,
yeah.
I don't. And so it was this whole thing, and like she was really kind and understanding about it, but I was still ticked off.
Absolutely.
Like, I was like, you didn't even have to bring anything up. Like, but at that moment, I feel like I had my first depressive episode. I was living with family at the time because I couldn't afford to live on my own. And it was rough. It was a hard time.
I don't doubt that one bit. A couple mozzarella sticks later, we are back.
It's like in the I Am Athlete, except for we have mozzarella sticks and not fancy food.
Shout out to I Am Athlete, because they do great things. So, how much longer do you have in this candidacy?
So, luckily for me, I work a 40-hour-a-week job. And so, I will hopefully be done with candidacy by June of this year.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that has been a long and overdue ride.
Yeah.
I mean, to say the least. So, for somebody that, let's say, is in school, whether it be high school, college, maybe they're working some 9-to-5 job somewhere, still trying to figure out what they want to do with their life, and mental health comes across their mind, what would you say to them?
Ooh. I would say it's a good idea to have a solid support system behind you before you get started. It's hard to do this stuff alone. You're gonna have to do unpaid work. You're going to have to work in underpaid situations for a little bit. So if you have family that's very supportive, or a partner that's going to help and support you, that's really your best bet there. It's doable. It is doable. It's just a pain in the butt. I mean, I even had family. I'm not married or anything, but that was something that these mozzarella sticks slap.
That they do.
That was something that a lot of people that I went to graduate school with did have, were partners and things like that, so they could not work and go to school and just kind of focus on school while their partner took care of things, which I don't regret my path of doing things, but it was nice. And then going from that to the candidacy program, where it also would not hurt. Which honestly, I wonder if since counseling is a female-dominated situation, if like the reason that it's so difficult for single people is because it's a female-dominated area and it's meant for women that have husbands that can take care of them.
Could very well be. There's still a lot of industrial era practices that go on today.
That would suck because we need to keep up with the times. Single women are out here getting master's degrees.
Getting their bag. Getting in their motherfucking bag.
But yeah.
Not to mention they're doing a great service to people. I don't know if y'all have ever had a therapist or seen a therapist. Highly recommend it, but Cydney is dope. She is phenomenal at what she does, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for her. And speaking of the future, if you had to see yourself in 5 years through a looking glass, what do you think you would see?
Hopefully. Hopefully. Owning my own private practice. Having a few candidates of my own.
I don't want to interrupt you, but let's change that to I will, because you're going to do that shit.
I will.
Yes.
Have
Yes,
my
queen.
own.
Yes, queen.
My own private practice with a few supervisees.
Right.
Connecting with a lot of the supervisors and people from my past that I know do great work. I will. I don't know. I keep growing and being a more confident version of myself.
Okay.
Maybe married with kids. You never know. What? That's not a one-sided decision.
I never said it was, but I think those are great goals. I think those are great things to work towards, especially with, there being an entire life outside of work that so many people, I feel like, have to neglect nowadays just to be able to live, have a place to put their head down at night.
Yeah.
Well, now let's have a couple more fun questions before we wrap things up.
All right, mozzarella stick ready. Let's go.
Are we ready now? Question number 1. Pancakes, waffles.
Waffles.
Waffles. If you could be any superhero, who would you be?
Iron Man.
Why?
Because he's the best superhero ever.
That's Major Cap. Major Cap. I ain't even talking about what's his face, Captain America. It's just.
First of all, there's no other better superhero than him. Who do you think is better?
Let's see. There's Batman. There's Darkseid. Superman. There's.
Superman is not better than Iron Man.
Superman whooped out of Iron Man.
Superman is a goody two-shoes, just like Captain America. Not anywhere near as cool as Iron Man.
And yet Captain America still beat that.
Okay, they had to make it that way. So that Iron Man didn't kill Bucky. Duh. I'm just saying, Iron Man's GOAT.
Another petting zoo? What are you doing?
No. Greatest of all time. The GOAT.
Yeah. Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I've gone back on this many a times. There's part of me that wanted to have like super healing power back in the day. But then at the same time I was like, man, nobody would ever leave me alone. Because they find out that I can heal you. And like all these people that like misuse their bodies, they're like, oh, it's fine. I can just like do whatever I want to my body. And then I could just travel across the country to this girl and she's gonna heal me. But I'm pretty sure like force fields would probably be my go-to.
Talking about being a super introvert, you got your own personal bubble.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, I live in Tornado Alley. So, like, boom, tornado, force field all across Oklahoma.
I think you could probably save a couple dollars on insurance that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, you might want to look into that. Start making some force fields. Might want to get more on your Bruce Banner side. Start putting that Nerf brand to use.
Well,
or I mean, if Tony Stark's so great, you know, you could.
he would.
He would.
Yeah. More than Batman.
Yeah. Anyways, if you could travel anywhere in the world but could only take 3 things, what would it be?
What would the 3 things be?
Mhm.
And where? I would probably travel to Venice, Italy, because it's beautiful there and I've always wanted to go.
Okay.
And the 3 things that I would probably take with me. How long am I staying?
How long you got?
It depends on how long I'm staying.
Say a month.
Oh shoot, I can only take 3 things?
Yep.
Including clothes.
I mean, you could decent.
So like, could an outfit count as one thing? Because I can always do laundry. Like, it would suck, but like, I can always do that.
Well, let's not focus so much on like clothes, just things that you would like to bring with you. That would be considered non-necessities, accessories, more the fun stuff.
Also, fun things that I would take with me. Some sort of camera or something to take pictures. Whether that be phone or like a regular like camera, because
Duh.
I have to take my bonnet because if not, my hair is going to be a frizzy mess. Or a silk pillow, one of the 2.
Gotta keep the thing on you, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta keep the curls looking right.
Oh, my glasses. 100%. Because if I can't see everything, then it's pointless.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to be blind in Venice.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. This is Cydney Fogel, Blind in Venice. There's your book right there. Went a lot of places, didn't see shit.
I could see it, it's just blurry.
It's the same thing. You
No.
might as well have like a 1930s TV. You just slap it a couple times and it'll get its act together for a couple minutes.
Maybe.
Well, I just want to thank you for your time and your story, telling us about you, what you do, and what you're going to become. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Hopefully taking this little bit of inspiration, this story time, and taking that to do bigger and better things than they probably thought was possible. Taking this information and really doubling down on what they had planned before, because everything is always just bulletproof in their plan until, you know, the boots get strapped up, they hit the ground running, and then all of a sudden plan A's gone, plan B's gone. You're looking at C like, I don't even know if I can make it. And what I want to say is, if you don't know how to get to the end goal, focus on what your next step is and do that. Do that all the way up until you get there, because if you focus on the end zone, the end goal way too much, you're never going to make it. You're going to get tripped up over your own feet. So take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one big breadstick at a time if you need it. So thank you so much, Cydney. I got a couple little dogs here that are trying to eat my mozzarella sticks, so we're just gonna wrap up here. This is the War Ready Podcast. Growth is hard.
Bye.
We're like the little dog.
Oh!
Oh, good one.